Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. An increase in positive cases of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago ahead of opening up. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 14th July 2021. Details when we return.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health is reporting an increase in COVID-19 cases over the last few days as the country prepares for the further reopening of the Trinidad and Tobago economy as well as the reopening of the borders on Saturday. However, ministry officials describe the increase as insignificant. TV6's Renessa Cutting has more.
Last Saturday that the Prime Minister announced several long-awaited It was only last Saturday that the Prime Minister announced several long-awaited rollbacks of the public health restrictions based on a slow but steady decline in our COVID numbers.
Food establishment and restaurants, itinerant and non-itinerant businesses, curbside pickup and takeout, deliveries and drive-through only.
But on Monday, Ministry of Health officials announced a bit of a concerning development.
As of 4 p.m. on Sunday, 11th July 2021, there were 188 confirmed positive cases that were reported in the last 24 hours, and this has resulted in a slight increase in the rolling average, which is the average number of cases per day, from 181 on Saturday to 191 on Sunday.
Questioned as to whether the increase in cases could be as a result of any particular event, such as the mass movement of persons attempting to get vaccinated, the ministry said it is unlikely.
This is not a significant variation. The variation over the last week has been anywhere between 170 and 181 cases. At this point in time, we cannot confirm if this insignificant increase really has been due to any particular event or gathering, but we obviously do trend analysis. It is very unlikely, however, because of that very small and that tight range in terms of the rolling average.
It has been 1 month since thousands of persons flocked to health centers seeking to get vaccinated, and 1 week since construction workers are back on the job. Food providers will come back into service on July 19th.
Regarding the mass vaccination of persons in the food and beverage industry, once the 800,000 doses of Sinopharm are received, allocations will be made to the different sectors. Of course, the information on this will be available in the public domain.
The ministry also confirmed that persons in the retail sector have been included for vaccination in the allocations to the respective chambers of commerce. Meantime, the essential services continue to be a cause of concern for COVID spread.
If you're working in an environment where you get to work, you take off your mask, you continue to interact with your colleague as though there is no pandemic going on, that kind of work environment is a higher risk, and that is where we are seeing the virus circulating quite freely.
Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
Meanwhile, in Barbados, coordinator of the National Vaccination Program is concerned that less people are coming forward for COVID-19 vaccines, even as the country faces another outbreak. More in this Barbados Today news item.
Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand is banking on widespread acceptance of the Chinese Sinopharm vaccine to assist with the fight against present and future waves of the virus. She's urging Barbadians to get vaccinated.
I would have hoped to have been a little more forward because this is a pandemic and we need to be vaccinating people very quickly. Okay, we need people to get their vaccination as soon as possible. So, although we have good numbers, I am not satisfied with the amount of people who are coming forward, and especially for their second dose.
Democratic Labour Party spokesman on health, Paul Gibson, is calling on the government to outline a clear path towards herd immunity as deadlier, more transmissible variants surface.
Human behavior drives crime reduction. Human behavior drives COVID reduction. And it is certain behaviors that give you the desired result. And so it is unfortunate, but we need to get back to those guidelines and, so that we Barbadians can get back to some level of normalcy by following the normal protocols as they are.
In the latest COVID-19 update, Barbados has recorded 10 new positive cases, 5 males and 5 females, from 590 tests conducted by the Best de Santos Public Health Laboratory on Sunday. There are currently 64 people in isolation. Barbados has recorded a total of 4,186 confirmed cases of COVID-19. 48 persons have died from the virus. The number of tests carried out by the Public Health Laboratory to date is 194,896 tests. Public health officials have administered 96,212 first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine under the National Vaccination Program. A total of 72,606 people have received second doses and are fully vaccinated. This figure represents 26.8% of the population.
Is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Almost 2 months after Guyana's Ministry of Health has announced that it had run out of second dose shots of the Sputnik COVID-19 vaccine, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony revealed that second dose shots have been sourced and the administering of the second dose shots will begin in earnest. Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana reports.
5,000 second-dose shots arrived in the country this morning. The arrival of the vaccine comes as thousands of persons are entering their 11th week since they got their first dose of the vaccine. There was an initial 4 to 12-week window between the first and second doses of the vaccine, but the manufacturer recently expanded that to 6 months.
We have now been able to get second dose Sputnik V into the country, and as of tomorrow we'll start administering the second dose of the Sputnik V. But you would recall that we also have given people a time period, and that is between 4 weeks to 12 weeks when you can come and get the second dose of the vaccine. If you wait for that 12-week period, the longer you wait, the better you will get the durability of the vaccine or durability of your immune response.
The health minister said the second dose, which is now available, will be given to persons who took their first dose in April because they are closer to the 90-day period.
We are now getting in these second doses. So we have a set that came in, and next week we are going to get a next set. So everyone who would have received their first dose of the Sputnik V will get their second dose.
Dr. Anthony noted that the 3 main vaccines which are currently being utilized in Guyana, the Russian Sputnik V, the Chinese Sinopharm, and the Oxford AstraZeneca, could protect citizens from severe illness from COVID-19 for up to 1 year.
We know for sure now, because these vaccines have been in use for more than a year, and once you have both doses of these vaccines, that you will get protection for at least a year. That's based on the current evidence that we have.
The health minister did not say whether persons would need fresh doses of the vaccines after the protection period elapses, but he noted that constant studies are being done, and the protection could very well last beyond 1 year.
Stevenson King sets the record straight on reports of ties to the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party. Stanley Lucian of HTS News Force reports.
Former Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure Stevenson King, now an independent candidate in the upcoming general election, in a marathon interview broadcast Sunday, sought to explain some of the reasons for his departure from the United Workers' Party. According to King, contrary to the Prime Minister's statements, he did on many occasions raise questions and outline concerns about the way in which the business of government was being conducted.
The Prime Minister say I sit in cabinet and not raise concerns? The many times that I've sat in cabinet and raised concerns, the many times I've sat in cabinet and pleaded for adherence to the code of conduct, for adherence to the Constitution, for adherence to the law. The many times I've sat there and said we cannot do this, it's unethical, it's unacceptable, it cannot be.
King spoke of flagrant violations of established norms, rules, and procedures, some of which he says were apparently sanctioned by senior members of the administration. He pointed to major construction projects being undertaken without plans, noting one of many such examples.
When the gentleman reported, unwritten report, verbal report, and questions were raised, it's obvious that he had misstepped in the execution of the project. So he was undertaking a project or projects, road projects, without any designs, and indicated that the designs would have come after. And so the question was, after construction. So the question was, how could you undertake such programs? It's laughable, huh? It's laughable. So how could you have undertaken such a program, such a project or projects? No designs available for certification by the department. And on what basis are you allowing the contractor to construct the road?
The former Minister of Infrastructure said the incidents of clear violations were not isolated.
I'm speaking about an incident in which an individual was appointed as the chairman of a committee with a stipend, assumed the job, performed the role as he claims as an executive chairman, and then proceeded to request payment at the level of an executive chairman for a salary pretty close to the salary of a minister. Okay? And there are many other instances.
Stevenson King was pressed on his position on the controversial Desert Star Holdings DSH project.
From day one, the Prime Minister and myself clashed on the issue of DSH. The first thing, there was exuberance after the election victory and, new beginning and getting involved in doing things for the country. I was excited about it. The first presentation made to the cabinet and social and economic sectors, the Chamber of Commerce, tourism, and you just name it, big presentation of the DSH project. I was turned off from day one. Turned off. And I'll tell you why. The presentation was made. One of the things I didn't like or I didn't appreciate was the fact that the meat processing plant, which was a gift from the government of Taiwan, which we fought for. It was a project that Sir John fought for years, long before our return to office in 2006. The gentleman during his presentation said that the meat processing plant will have to be demolished and replaced with a temporary facility. A gift from a friend? You will demolish it and replace it with a temporary facility? Secondly, it is the volume of land that was just being, carved out to be offered for this major project to which no evidence of finance was available except the clear evidence of going out to the international market to speculate.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.